Hello traders! We're doing a follow-up video on our trade setups versus trade predictions callouts. Every webinar that we do, we leave with 3 stocks where you could take trade setups based on specific conditions, which was the entire idea of this webinar. If we're bullish above a specific level, you can take the trade, and if you're bearish below a specific level, you take the trade. There's no finagling. The decision is already made. If this happens, then we do this. If that happens, we do that. And if nothing happens, you do nothing. So we covered Abbott Labs, the QQQ, and NVIDIA. So we're going to watch the 3 videos. We'll look at Abbott Labs first, then QQQ, and then NVIDIA. And we'll compare and see how we did overall. Let's go ahead and look at Abbott Labs. Abbott Labs. Now, when I took this screenshot about an hour before our webinar, we were trading at 90.94. So look, we're above 91.25, right? So 90.93. We want to make sure that we're closing strong above the print. This has got a wick on it. Actually, when we looked at the chart, it was pulling back a little bit, right? So you have to wait to the last few minutes of the day to get in, because you don't want, see this, if you would have got in when the market opened, and you're like, yeah, I'm swinging it long, yeah, but you don't want to see the what the candle looks like now, right? Let it close. Or we're below 84. Because look at these tens of millions of dollars that they're building in this position. They've been here, right down here, up to the top, pulling back, increasing volume, right? We need it to close above 91.25. There you go. And then here are our targets. Target 92.50, 95, 96, 97.50, 100. And below 84 with targets. And so what I did is this one has a ATR of $2 almost. So if it moves $2 a day on a swing trade, it's like, okay, if it's going to go plus or minus $2 a day, I can have wider first targets. Like, for example, MU moves 40, well, right now it moves like $60 a day. So I'm not going to go and move at $2.50 a time. I'm going to move at $12.50 and $25 at a time because the thing's so volatile. Okay, so we've got Abbott Labs. All right, so looking at Abbott Labs, here was the day of the webinar where we made our call out 91.25. We were bullish above target 92.50, 95, and so on, bearish below 84. So what actually happened? That was June 4th. June 25th, there was a bullish entry, and I went the end of the day, 93.24. It actually would have crossed through our 91.25 on that day. But anyway, increasing volume. We're tagging a print there, and 93.24, and the next target would have been 95, which the current day on Friday we actually hit. So the trade is actually still on. If you're in it, take some profit, hold a little bit for another target. This is still in play. All right, and on to the QQQs. The next one is the QQQs. I'm not sure where the Qs are now. I took this, it was down in the morning a little bit. But anyway, look at this. You want to talk about manipulation. This is just look at this every day. Every day. 3.2 million shares yesterday, June 3rd. When you think of that, like 1 million shares is $746 million. So this is like $1.5, $2 billion right here. These are individual trades. And as a trader, it would be phenomenal if you knew that, because look, we're coming down here testing this. When I took this screenshot, we were at 735. Okay, so what we need to do is be below the next one, 729.50, or we've got to close above them. So let's see what actually happens. 747.50 or below 729.50, close below that. And then those are the targets, 750, 752, up to 770 and below, down to 712.50. And the ATR on this one is about $10. So you can expect the Qs to move on average $10 in the last several days. It's not guaranteed. You could have a little doji, you could get stuck. But anyway, historically, that's what it's been doing. So what happened with the QQQs? We were bullish above 747.50, bearish below 729.50. Here's the webinar day, this little doji here. And the very next day, we dropped 26 points and closed at 705. It blew through all of our targets. Anybody who was able to catch some of that move. These are swing trades, so we were waiting for the close for that. So there was another swing trade setup that we could have taken here, going out the ATR, timesing that by 2.5, and then going out a month or so. That would have brought us down to 686 to take some profit down here below these prints, but we didn't map that out. So this one's, we're going to call it as a scratch, as no entry. Blew through all of our targets before the session even closed. Next up is NVIDIA. Let's watch the original call out video. The last one I have for you is NVIDIA. This one's been pulling back a little bit. Look at some of these share sizes. 20 million at 211. 21 million shares at 214. 6 million at 225. Right? These are billions and billions of dollars. Individual trades. So what we want to do is, this is their either accumulation or distribution pattern. You might think it's like, oh, maybe they're selling or whatever. You want to be sure. So to a certain extent, we've got our plan. We're going to be bullish above 227.50, bearish below 210. So if we close week below 210, then we can have some targets: 207.50, 205, 202.50, 200, 190. And then this one, the ATR, where did it go? $8.29 moves on the day. So you can plan that down to specific levels. So how did we do with NVIDIA? Here's the day of the webinar. Right here, we were bullish above 227.50, bearish below 210, with targets all the way down to 190. There's our entry, 205.10. Just like the Qs dropped, NVIDIA dropped quickly as well. This one came down to 205.10, which would have hit some of the targets. But anyway, getting in there at the low, there was our target 2 days later at 200. And if you stayed short at this point, we came down and hit our target here at 190. So let's recap our trade setups based on 500 shares. So Abbott Labs, entry 93.24 to 95, and the trade is still on. So at this point, making the video, that's $1.76 profit. 500 shares is $880. The QQQ entry, honestly, there was really no trade there coming out of the webinar because it blew through our targets altogether. We could have had another trade setup, but we're just considering that one no trade. And NVIDIA entry 205 short to the target down to 200 was $510 a share times 500 shares is $2,550. That gives us a current profit of $34.30 with Abbott Labs still in play if you were hanging on to any shares there. And how long did it take us to find it? Well, 5 minutes for these trade setups. Not bad. So we have a weekly dark pool newsletter, mobyticktrading.com/weekly-report. You get 13 stocks to trade every week. You get the market overview, dark pool insights as well, and an educational section. So visit mobyticktrading.com/weekly-report. First name, email address, and you're all set up. It comes out Sundays at 7 a.m. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe, leave some comments in the comment section below, and you'll see us in the next webinar. Keep an eye out for that, where we'll have all new trade setups as well. Happy trading.